Good morning, students. We shall now start off with the chapter 8, 5 and 4, last part of the explanation. I had taught you till page number 116, where the last topic of discussion was that we shouldn't be using water to put out fires which have been created out of electricity, because you may get a shock. Now let's proceed further and see what all information has been given in the text. We spend millions of rupees each year in fighting fires, and we spend more trying to find new ways of preventing fires from happening and getting out of control. Everywhere in the world, there are scientists who are trying to find solutions for our problems. So, putting out fire, the techniques which are available in the present day scenario are not enough. That is why our scientists are also trying to invent or discover how can fire be put out. So that process is also costing us a lot. On the whole, we have learned rather well to control fire and put it out to good use in our daily life. So whatever we have learned, we are utilizing it to the full extent, and we are succeeding in controlling the fire as well. Long ago, there were no firemen. Who are firemen? If something catches fire, a house catches fire, or a building catches fire, the firefighters come over there. So they are the fire extinguisher. They extinguish the fire, and they are called the firemen. When fire broke out, everybody became a firefighter. In the olden days, when people's homes used to be on fire, everybody in the surrounding used to bring buckets of water and spray or pour on the fire. Everybody. People formed human chains. They still do if required, and passed buckets of water from a well or a pond to the place. Now everybody cannot take a bucket and put it under the tap and wait for it to fill and then go and pour water over there wherever the fire has caught the house or something, or any kind of a building. They in olden days also, nowadays also, in certain areas, till the fire extinguishing companies come, or the truck comes loaded with water and all. What do they do? They form human chain, like standing one beside the other, and then they with the buckets they fetch water and pass from one another wherever there is a well or a pond, and that's how they try to extinguish the fire. Now, there are laws about building construction which ensure that space is left between buildings to reduce the fire risk. When area is small, when I'm talking about metropolitan cities, area is small, the buildings which are built over there are very close to each other. So now the norms and conditions have changed, and they have been instructed that you cannot build a building too close to the other one, because in case of fire, if one building catches fire, the other one, being in close proximity with the prior one, can easily catch fire. So certain changes have been brought up by the municipal corporation in the building of buildings not too close to each other. Every new building, especially a public place, must ensure observance of fire prevention norms. Public place is a place which is accessible to all. Everybody can come. So very strict laws have been put up where public places are involved, and everybody has to follow those norms and conditions. Bands of firefighting workers with special equipments known as fire brigades are there to put out fires. Now we have fire brigades. So whenever there is a fire anywhere in the surrounding, you call a fire brigade, you ring up, and they come, and they are the people who are specially trained to tackle situations. So these firemen, now these are the trained people who know how to put out fire, who know how evacuation is to be done, how the people need to be moved out from the building if they have been captured or engulfed in fire. So they are the people who have technical knowledge about what is to be done in kind of a situation. Fire Firefighters are highly trained people. They possess many skills. They cut off electricity supply, knock down dangerous walls, spray water and other materials to bring fire under control. It's a part of their training to know what is to be done in what kind of a situation. So when they are not putting out fire anyway, they are given rigorous training to tackle the situation, maybe any kind of situation they have been put through. So they should know in that kind of a situation what is to be done. What all do they do? The first thing when something catches fire is you put out the electricity supply over there, because if you don't put out the electricity supply, it may leak, the current may leak and may cause further damage. And if you have to enter some place and the main entrance of it or all the doors of it have been engulfed by fire, so what do? You break open the wall. That also they are trained in. They are also trained in first aid so that they can help people suffering from burns and from the effects of smoke. So what first aid should be given if a person has been suffocated in a room where there was a lot of smoke? You and I might not know, but they will be knowing what is to be done. For a first degree burn or a second degree burn, they are well equipped. The fire brigade is well equipped with first aid material, and even these people are given training how to give first aid to the to the injured people, or if somebody had been suffocated, what is to be done. The discovery of fire and its uses helped early man to cope with nature better and gradually adopt a settled mode of life. Earlier, when we talk about life, when we talk about Stone Age, human beings did not discover fire, so they used to eat raw food. This is raw food means raw meat also. Now, those who are non-vegetarians know if raw meat is to be eaten, it's not a nice thing. Like, you can't chew it properly. If it is cooked, you can eat it properly. So at that time we used to live that kind of a life. That's why we used to move from place to place. But with the discovery of fire and all, it made our lives easy. We knew that we could protect ourselves from animals. We could light a cave or something wherever we were staying by lighting a fire, and that would keep away the animals from hunting us. So all these special elements or advantages of fire helped us to live a settled life. It actually promoted the idea of living at a particular place, not moving around like wanderers. Fire is still worshipped in many parts of the world. Fire is indeed a friend, but as we know, it can be a dangerous enemy once it gets out of control. The last line is actually the explanation of this title over here: fire, friend and foe. It can be a very good friend, but when it is out of control, it is the worst enemy you can ever face. Then when it comes to worshipping, if you have studied in your history chapters also that those elements of nature which we couldn't understand anything about, we used to worship them. So fire is also a kind of source of energy. So we started worshipping it, like in Hindus it's called Agni Dev. So we do worship it because we worship it as a source of energy. You try to recall all the names of your gods. They are a source of some or the other energy. So fire is also not only in India it is worshipped throughout the world in different parts of the world. So it being so helpful to us, we need to take care of it under control. We need to use it so that it doesn't go out of our hands and we don't cause a permanent damage. So as a friend, as a foe, we need to take care of it in either ways. That's all for the explanation. I will be sending you the